What's happening? What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We're back in the building for episode 4. We're in there like swimwear, baby. I got my flu game going on. Please ignore the look of death, the sound of death. I'm not doing well. This will be
It
a
just
shorter
shows,
episode.
just shows your dedication, Mike. It just
Nah,
shows your dedication.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. If I disappear out of nowhere and Rob's the only one talking, I'm throwing up somewhere in a corner. But with that being said, let's get into it, man. We got women's hoops back and better than ever. Excited
Woo!
about it.
Time
Excited
for the
about it.
ladies to show up and show out. You hear me?
Man, last year was different, bro. Last year changed a lot for the whole landscape of the WNBA, for the whole landscape of women's NCAA. It was absolutely phenomenal what Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were able to do. And we went into this, Rob, saying, hey, man, hey, HVL,
Yeah.
teaming up with one of the best, coldest rappers in the game, and Angel Reese.
Yes, Lord.
Hey, man, we thought they were going to come in here and go undefeated all year long. The biggest upset is game 1, game uno of playing together. It's only one game, but
Hmm.
let's talk about it, Rob. Looking at it, playing against
Colorado.
Prime Time. Prime Time is at it again, Rob. I mean, the whole University of Colorado has just been absolutely bonkers this year. It's been awesome to see. It's been
I,
really cool. What
I
do you
just want
think?
you. I just want you to know something. That Colorado is not HBCU.
Oh man, and that.
Hey, they had the Migos there, Master P, The Rock,
Mhm.
my boy Lou Young, Desi Banks. They had there. I think I was the only black dude that wasn't there in Colorado.
On God, on God. No, but man, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy to see this happen. Angel Reese finishes with 15 and 12 with 1 assist.
She a
Haley in
dog
her debut at LSU finishes with 14, 7 and 1 in 37 minutes. They're playing big time minutes right off the bat.
right out the bat.
Um, you know, Flage, 3 points, 0 assists, 1 rebound in 18 minutes. Didn't play her greatest game, but it is what it is. It's very early on.
Hmm.
But Rob, take me through. I know you just started getting involved into women's basketball, and really just trying to take over the scene, baby. Just doing it, trying to engulf in it. How did you feel about these women's first performance playing together, coming off of a national championship win?
Well, I think they were still high on that high from winning last year. And last year, of course, I think as you mentioned, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese captivated everybody. I mean, it shows in the numbers: 9.9 viewers watching that game, 9.9 million viewers
Alien.
watching that game. Like that's a lot of people that tuned in to watch. So everybody come in with high expectations. Angel Reese, of course, has been on her summer campaign. If you follow her on social media with her boyfriend, I didn't really see her practicing. You know what I mean? And it showed. Like these ladies came out there, and you can tell they whatever game they did come with, they left it on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And to lose to Colorado, and no offense to Colorado, but this is just not a you expecting a dominant showing
It's
from
it's
LSU.
Colorado, but it's not prime time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and they come in. I think at that time LSU was ranked. Now I'm looking
Number
at it.
one.
They got Colorado number one.
Man, man, it's crazy the way it works out, man. And I believe this was I think Colorado was ranked 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody
Yeah,
can fact check me
I
on
think it
that.
was 20. I think it was 25th. Yeah, I think it was
Somewhere in the
25. They
20s,
was ranked
20
20. They was ranked 25. I want to say, and it just goes to show you, male or female, and we appreciate our viewers for already showing up and tuning in. Steve, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Um, it just shows people you gotta eventually when you talk that talk, you're gonna have to walk that walk. And,
Mm-hmm.
these ladies, was boistering about the championship that they won last year. Really,
Making music videos, going
yeah,
crazy. NIL deals.
you gotta focus on the main thing. You gotta
Right.
keep the main thing the main thing. And if you're, if all the success is based on your accomplishments on the basketball court, you would think,
Right.
hey, let me continue to elevate my game and get better. And
Mm-hmm.
not to mention, their coach, she's not gonna play that. You know what
No.
I mean? I'm pretty sure it was a hellacious practice
Right.
for today after
Well,
that loss.
my thing with the coach over
What's
there
her name? Kim,
is
Coach Kim, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I kind of forget. I'm not a big
yeah.
fan of her.
Kim Mogi or something, Mogi, something like that.
I just think with her, it's there's so many different questions about the personalities that you have to take over. Because Haley's a big personality too. Haley, I
Yeah,
mean, Haley's hilarious. She played on Team USA for a little bit.
yeah,
She broke her like medallion, the wrap to it on accident. She
gotcha.
was just having a ball. She's just too lit. So many personalities, so many fireworks in that locker room. That I feel like you have to command now, and learning how to play together is definitely coming. Like Flage, obviously having 3 points. I don't expect that the rest of the season. You know, she is going to ball out. She is going to do what she does as a
Yeah.
facilitator and as a game time manager. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun watching this blowout because that's what we're gonna call it, is a blowout.
Oh,
I
it was
think,
a blowout. It was
yeah, I mean, they're gonna,
92-78. That's a to me, especially losing, coming in first game of the year, you want to kind of make a statement. I understand not everybody's going to have a great first game. I get that, but you would think being a champion and kind of bringing your roster back together, these ladies know how to play around each other. You would think that they would come in and do kind of like what South Carolina did
yeah,
or do what Iowa did because, Caitlin Clark just picked up right where she left off at last year. 4
um,
9 from the 3-point line. I think she's almost near triple double. I mean, and, and in my mind, and I think a lot of people agree with this. I heard Cameron and May say this early on the Is What It Is podcast. Shout out to them. And Caitlin Clark wants. She not only wants to win the title, she wants to beat Angel Reese to win the
right.
title. She want her get back. You know what I mean? Because she got that mentality. Caitlin Clark got that dog mentality, that Mamba mentality. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm pretty sure every day she practicing, she see her knocking down the three in Angel Reese face and getting her get back.
Yep,
You know
yep,
what I
yep,
mean?
yep. a hundred
Oh no,
percent.
women's basketball is exciting right now.
It's cracked, and you mentioned Caitlin Clark, and I think the mentality of Caitlin growing, especially growing up in Iowa, is very different. I've spent some time in Iowa covering the Cubs down there in AAA,
Yeah.
covering the Hawkeyes down there as well, and not a lot to do. Not a lot to do. Very humble beginnings. That's for a lack of a better word, because I'm going to stay appropriate on Caitlin's hometown. But when you're a city boy and you go down there, you're like, man, I couldn't. I'm itching to get back. I'm itching to get back.
Yeah,
So
you
she
miss the noise.
understands. Right. She understands what it's like, and she understands what it's like, no matter what the NIL deal looks like, no matter how many millions she's making. But Rob, I want to pose this question to you:
Okay.
how much are NIL deals impacting the maturity, I guess, rate, or I guess the growth of maturity in players in college right now? Because Angel Reese, be real, I mean, hey, what a dog, an
Yeah,
absolute monster.
yeah,
And I believe she has that mentality of being one of the best players in the world. But they also handed her millions and millions of dollars this offseason. And it,
yeah.
it showed. She rightfully so engulfed in that, and
Lived her
just
best life.
enjoyed herself, and I understand that, and I will say she probably was putting in that work, but I also have her on Instagram, and I saw her and her man's doing all types of different stuff,
Yeah. I
just
mean, I'm
living
a
her life.
fan. I'm a real life fan of Angel Reese. Think
Yeah, I
she has
love
a
Angel.
great personality. She's very charismatic. She kind of demands your attention, so to speak.
Mhm.
I will say this about the NIL deals. Of course, any kid that comes from humble beginnings and now is making millions of dollars and now you turn into the provider of your for your family, of course that can mess with your psyche a little bit. But I'm not gonna sit here and blame it on that because I think that's what these conservatives want
Right,
when to point out of why they shouldn't pay these kids.
right. Well,
But if
here's my
yeah,
question for you though, right?
yeah,
How much harder is it for a coach to manage a team that, I mean, when you look at LSU, we have 19 and 20-year-olds making millions and millions of dollars, driving
yeah,
2023s, 2024s, driving nicer cars than me and you. And
yeah.
we're sitting here and we're like, how do we talk to them when they've peaked us already? It's a very different landscape than what we're used to in college
No,
basketball.
I think you got to look at it kind of from a coach's perspective because I mean I just saw a video where Mike Brown was going crazy in the Sacramento Kings practice,
Mhm.
and talking to Malik Monk and
Yeah,
yelling
you do that
direction at,
shit again.
hey, don't do that again. Hey, you know what? And that's the thing. No matter how much money you're making, you still have to respect position. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You might be smarter than your boss at work, that don't mean that your boss can't tell you what to do. That's the
Yep.
boss. In the words of the great old mafioso, the boss is the boss is the boss. And that's
Mhm.
just how things work. So, I understand that these young talents are making, millions of dollars with the NIL deals, but at the end of the day, players play, coaches coach. And I don't think that that has an effect on a great coach to be able to rally their team and get there. Because I can tell you right now, Coach Kim Mulkey, she's not gonna tolerate. I know a lot of people are not fans of hers. She has some controversies from back in the day, but one thing you can't deny, that woman can coach her ass off. And she demands the
Yep.
respect from her team, and her team damn sure shows her that respect. So I think, like I said, she gonna rally the troops and she gonna let them know that was last year. Everybody know in any professional sports, you can't just live off what you've done. What are you doing now? That's how
100%.
it go down.
100%. And I feel like that's a perfect transition for our next one. We knocked out Clark, we knocked out LSU, but the most respected head coach, in my personal opinion,
Oh, Don, Coach Don Staley.
Don Staley,
Yes, Lord.
heads to Paris. Amazing win against Notre Dame. It was a close game, honestly, for the first three quarters. It was a very close game. But they came out, they did their thing. 5 straight trips to the Final Four. Talk to
Yeah,
me a little bit about what you've seen from Don Staley. Aaliyah Boston and a bunch of other first round picks in the WNBA have come from there.
yeah.
What's the impact you think, Rob?
Coach Staley is just she almost reminds me of like a Mike Tomlin. A great coach, very personable, but demands respect, and she wins. She knows the recipe for winning. She's a winner. You know the old cliche. I've heard Eric Thomas say this many times. It's hard to explain, but winners win and losers lose. And that's just it. And Don Staley, Coach Don Staley, let me put some respect. That's respect with a K on it. Let me put some respect on her name. You can tell, not even just her team, other young women in professional in that professional setting tend to gravitate towards Coach Staley. You saw the moment she walks into the Las Vegas Aces stadium during the NBA Finals. You see the impact she's had on Aja Wilson and all these women that want to come and gain the knowledge from her. And she knows how to put the right players in place to do what she needs them to do. I'm gonna tell you one thing right now when it comes to South Carolina. That girl that they got, Malaysia Fulwali, she gonna be a dog for years to come. Did you see that behind the back, up and under? I mean, Magic Johnson tweeted out with that move she just did right there. She better than some men professionals I know. Like South Carolina, you build a stable, kind of like with Gino Oriama and what he's done and his great coaching expertise. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mess you up, Mike. I do know a little something about some women's
Come on.
basketball.
Come on.
But it's just about setting that foundation and continue to win. Like the great Pat Summit, may she continue to rest peacefully. Like the great Pat Summit, man, and what she did for Tennessee back when Candace Parker and then was dominate. You just know great coaches that know how to just put the right players in place, work with what they got, and create stars. And that's what Coach Don Staley is. She creates stars. That is a true coach.
100%. 100%. And I feel like,
Mess your head up with that one, Mike. I'll start bringing out some names on you now
hey,
a
man,
little bit.
I know you know. I know you know. He be hanging around me. Rob hangs around me long enough. He's a sponge. Rob's a sponge. Rob will learn whatever you want him to, man. You just got to give him the opportunity to. But man, breaking it down, bro, and understanding what she's been able to do not only for the game, but for these individuals and for these women and just the overall coaching staff, the opportunities that she's been able to give. She's
For
a one
sure.
of one. We've seen her in the WNBA finals
Hmm.
supporting someone like an Aja Wilson. We've seen what she's been able to do and how she's been able to help develop these players into top tier players. Aaliyah Boston winning Rookie of the Year. I mean, and making an All-Star game, by the way, at that. Absolutely
She a
phenomenal.
dog.
I mean, an absolute monster. An absolute. Our guy Gonzo got a good one over in Indiana because that's. I
Oh,
mean,
for
that's.
sure. Hey,
It,
not to mention Aaliyah Boston's on the U.S. national team.
and that's our next
So,
topic. Getting into that one right now. You talk about putting stars together. I'm gonna name a few names. Jackie Young, first and
mm,
foremost, is
hey,
returning. Diana Taurasi, which you love to see because we know her
hey,
time is very
let
limited.
me. Can I just give her flowers, man? It's certain women in basketball because I've watched. Like I'm starting to get into women's college basketball, but I've always kind of been a low key fan of the WNBA, and You had women like Maya Moore, and I used to be a
Mhm.
huge fan of the Minnesota League. But it's something about Diana Taurasi, man. It, she is that girl cold.
Like a
a,
monster.
a monster. Her mentality, her toughness, the way she can shoot the ball. I know she's gonna be one of those players. Like, I can't believe she's gone, that she's
Right.
retired and no longer
Yeah.
playing. I just wanted to give her flowers. I got so much love for Diana Taurasi. Boy, that woman is a dog, and I'm talking about DAWG
Mhm.
dog.
100%. I got a chance to talk to her last year working for Team USA.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, she just had the most insightful answers I feel like I've ever gotten.
Yeah,
Maybe I've heard a couple other ones from Ka or from Candace or
yeah.
Asia or Kelsey, but I mean, hers are just so articulate. The way she puts words together, I mean, it's crazy because you're sitting there and you're like trying to process everything, and you got to come up with another follow up question. And I'm like, I'm not even done with this one. Like, I got to start digging in. But it's absolutely crazy. But Jackie Young, Diana Taurasi, Arike,
Here we
uh,
go.
Angel, Mick. You love to see it. I love to call Mickey. Laney is going to be there after a finals loss. Sabrina Unescu after a finals loss. Ryan
Lady
Howard.
Mamba.
Hamby is going to be there. De'Erica. We all know the stuff that went on with that in the Las Vegas Aces.
Is
Um,
Brianna Stewart there too, right? Yeah.
not this year. Not
Not
this
this
year.
year.
Not this year.
Oh, but
Um,
BG there.
yeah. Ariel Atkins, Aaliyah Boston, Kalia Copper, Koski,
Yeah. Cop, cop,
Chicago.
cop. What's up?
Gotta
All
love it.
love, baby
Gotta love
girl.
it. We're definitely gonna try to get her on the show at some point.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
talk about a little ball. We got Alicia Gray. And then Rob, I want to throw this last one to you. Her return to Team USA after spending almost a calendar year in Russia, detained. Brittany Griner is returning. She looks better than ever. She did not get to finish the end of last season for mental health reasons. I want to start off and ask you probably the most important question. What impact do you think traveling overseas is going to have on her, especially after everything that happened?
Uh, I I think you can have a little bit of a shell shock, but I think it's different this time because she's with home. You know what I mean? She's with young ladies and
And we're
coaches.
not going to Russia, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but she's with young ladies and coaches that gonna have her best interests at heart. Also, too, I'm pretty sure she's becoming an advocate learner of rules and regulations in other countries to not go through that fiasco again. I want to give a shout out to you because you were one of her biggest supporters during the time of her detainment, and always in every show bring BG home. And we're glad that she was able to come home, and I think this is just a way of giving back, especially, I don't want to bring up, the whole logistics of everything, but considering what we had to do to get her return,
Right,
I think this is just her way of saying, thank you, USA, and I'm here to represent you with class. And I think she's gonna have a tremendous
right.
impact on the game. You say what you want about BG, but if you never seen Brittany Griner play, you missed out on some treats, man.
She
That this
is.
woman is tough. She demands respect down there in the paint. Has a
You gonna
certain
get her
tank
get back,
presence.
Rob. I promise you that.
I'm telling you, hey, if you ain't careful, somebody might get poked on.
Oh man,
Somebody might get jammed on.
it's gonna be crazy. Don't let them play Russia. Don't let them play Russia. There's gonna be.
Yes, Lord.
I mean that so serious. I mean that disrespectfully too. Nah, let me chill out. Um, if I wake up and get my water poisoned. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
man,
ain't got no problems with nobody. Okay.
yeah, but no, man. I mean, it's just so great to have BG back. Every conversation I've had with her has been nothing but great.
Yeah.
Talking to Diana last year, we never spoke about that. Her and
Hmm.
I never spoke about that. We never had conversations about it. But you felt it in her voice. You felt the unease. You felt that something was missing. And I think you got to see that this season of, my best friend is home. And I
Yeah.
think that's so raw and that's so real. And it's like if they took my boy Rob, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I can't go down there and fight a whole country to get my boy.
Yeah.
I can't go steal Team Six in the middle of the night going to get Rob Scott. I'm gonna try though. Uh, but we'll see what's happening. We're gonna see what North Side of Chicago got for Russia. But in all seriousness, though, I think, man, like the fact that we're even seeing her back means everything to me. And towards the end of last season, a lot of people gave her flack for missing the end of the season. But
which
those
which
flights,
is crazy though, because
she
you
came
got to
back right away.
you have to think about, like, she never really had a chance to
Nope.
sit down, decompress,
She came
maybe
back,
speak
Rob,
to a
and the
therapist,
preseason started right after.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of these women are in that predicament due to the pay that
Yep.
they receive in the WNBA, and that they have to go overseas and continue to play basketball even during their downtime,
And
to
BG
keep up
BG's
with
been
their
very
health.
vocal on that too, Rob. I mean,
Yeah,
she even said, she goes, "You think I would rather be in Russia or another country on Thanksgiving than be with my wife?" She goes, "You're
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
You're crazy, but I have
yeah.
to do it."
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, you got to give it a chance. Like, you would think, like, oh my God, like, man, I'm watching women's basketball. They're not running and dunking out the gym, bro. When I tell you, some of the greatest basketball I've seen have come from me watching women's games, man. Because I'll tell you right now, like I mentioned earlier, I was a huge fan of that Minnesota Lynx team, man. When
Oh,
they
Maya
had
Moore is my
Lindsay,
favorite
when they
player of
had
all time.
Maya Moore, I used to call her Lady Mello. When they had Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, like, man, bro,
And who and Rob, who you got for the new lady?
that Lady Mamba,
Come on.
Sabrina Ionescu, baby,
Rob's got them all.
that's
Rob's got them
Lady
all.
Mamba. I'm telling you right now, boy, she gonna
100%.
be a dog. Y'all better watch out for Sabrina.
Oh man, and I be saying it all the time too. What Kalia Copper is able to do, the engine and the motor that she has. I've told her, I don't know how many times I've said it. I go, if Derrick Rose was in the WNBA, it would be Kalia Copper,
Yeah,
and that's really just how I feel about it. I get it. She's a stretch three, but
nah,
she's
but
the
the
way
girl got G.
she's got it. She's
She
got G
got
in her
G.
heart. She's
She
got
got
it.
G, and I'll tell you this. I know she a Philly native, man. Nobody more happier to represent the hardworking people here in Chicago than Kalia Copper,
Oh
girl.
man,
We love you, girl.
COD does that shit. COD does that shit to a level to where I've never seen anybody do it, and
Yeah,
it's just absolutely. I mean, Finals MVP for a reason. On a
yeah.
team with Allie Quigley, Courtney Vandersloot, Azrae Stevens, Candace
Candace
Parker.
Parker,
I mean,
CP3.
right? We can do it all day. Stephanie Dolson, Diamond DeShields, and she still came out with it, and it wasn't her time yet. Now it's her time, and man, we got Teresa Witherspoon in the building. Rob,
Coach Spoon.
I'm excited to get into it, man. I'm excited to get
I
geared
can't
up.
I can't wait to watch Sky. Well, what's the new name
Skyline,
now? Skyline. See,
Skyline.
I caught myself, Lord Jesus.
Gotta get copyright reasons. Copyright reasons. Gotta be smooth with it. But man, bro, we got a few more topics, man. I want to knock this one out because I really don't care.
Man, I need you to rest, man. I know you sick, man. You being a straight trooper for us. For the people, I hope the people out there understand my boy being a real trooper right now. I tried to get him to rest, but he said the show must go on.
Man,
No Lupe.
I'm going, I'm going to
Shout out to Lupe, baby.
shout out to Lupe, but Lupe kind of, I don't like the way Lupe acts anymore. But
Hey,
it's all
to,
ego now. It's all
to,
ego now. I don't.
to each his own. To
To
each
each
his
his own. But I love old school Lupe. New Lupe is kind of like Kanye. He a little bound too for me, if you ask me. But hey, it is what it is. But man, talking about the in-season tourney, I was saying, Rob,
Yeah,
I really don't care because you explained to me last night on the phone how it's gonna go down. And once I realized the Bulls don't have a ass hair of a shot of
I'm
getting
sorry.
into this, it's just not happening. So
I'm
Rob,
sorry.
take us through though. How you feel, man? How was the first week of the play-in or the in-season tournament, I should say? And what do you think they can improve on? What do you think they did well?
I would say this. I think honestly, teams actually came out and played hard. Like, you can tell. I don't know if the 500,000 is the incentive. Like, who can't use an extra 500? A lot of people have been saying, "Oh man, $500,000, man. NBA players make so much. That's money I don't got to touch. If you telling me I can just get $500,000 from winning this tournament, that's cool. Man, that's a cool half meal, baby. Let's ride."
Mhm.
So I
And that's
don't know.
everybody on the team gets 500,000 as well.
Yeah, including coaches. So
Yep.
I don't, I don't know if that's been the incentive, or if it's just the spirit of competition. But
Think about the assistant coach, Rob. The assistant
yeah,
coach probably makes like what, 200,000 a year?
hey man, I could take.
500,000 is a lot. Not everybody's on a max contract, and that's what like
Bro,
these rookie deals.
I
They
can use
gotta
5,000 right now. I go out there and play for 5G right
go out there play for $5.
now.
Let's do
But
it.
no, I really, the only thing that it's kind of been bothering to me is these eyesores of basketball courts. Not every
Mhm.
court has been bad, but some of it, man, I feel sorry for people who have like epilepsy or something like that. Dude, it's a lot of colors to just start knocking on those senses, man. I was like, whoa, like I'm looking at the Bulls court, like, whoa, dude, that's a lot of red.
And
Like,
I heard in person it wasn't as bad. I heard in person it looked beautiful. It was just the way with the lights and then the screening and the TV, like it was just too much going on. And
it
then man,
was,
Indiana,
yeah,
or should I say Skytown 2.0, because they
yeah.
just want to be the Chicago Sky so bad. I mean, they look like a Marvel DC character just walking on the court. But it was just it was cool, Rob. I think it was
Hey,
cool.
speaking of Indy though, they 1-0 in the tournament with that big win over Cleveland. So,
Come on, come on. I mean, that's the thing, man. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you about Indy? I said if there's now making the playoffs, playing team, eighth seed, seventh seed, something like that.
yeah,
I think they could go and come out of their bracket at least, in my personal opinion. I think they play good ball.
yeah.
I don't
Let's
think they
see
play good playoff
who
ball.
is in that bracket. We got what Indy, Cleveland, Fit. I don't know about that one, bro.
I don't know about that one.
Because you got Philly in that bracket, you got Atlanta in that bracket. Atlanta's been playing excellent this year. I have to
Yeah,
give it. I have to give it to Atlanta. It's not. It hasn't even really been so much Trey Young. Dejounte Murray have been
on another
stepping
level.
up huge. Like this
This
dude
is
coming, like he got like a chip on his shoulder
this is the Murray we saw.
in San Antonio.
Yeah, 100%. And
A
I
dog.
question what would have happened. I mean, I doubt they get Victor if they keep Murray. But if those two would have been able to play together, I think that would
Oh
be a very
my God!
beautiful thing.
And you know what though? Let me tell you about San Antonio because a lot of people trying to get down on Victor.
Day nice.
Because look, right now I don't think Keldon Johnson was playing. Vassell wasn't playing. These are two, huge missing pieces. So now you're expecting this rookie to just lead this team by himself. It's just not gonna happen. So you're gonna
Yeah.
have showings like he's having against the Knicks or like he had against, I forgot the team they lost to. But it's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold nothing against the kid. I think Wemby, give him a couple years, man, he's gonna be one of those premier names in the league, giving people problems. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna need America to step its game up because all these stars are international. I got no problem with the international look, but I need y'all to show that we can play because
Oh
I
God.
got a couple dudes I know at the court right now. I could take a five and we'll give them some gold.
Oh God. I'm with it. I'm with it. I know a bunch of dudes that export more athletic than Luca and Jokic right now. No, but in all seriousness, man, I think you're right. I think there's so many levels to it when you look at Victor, who's making his Madison Square Garden debut tonight.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a lot
yeah,
of fun, no matter what the outcome is. Check
yeah.
it out, Rob. You see it? If you're watching on YouTube, you see this right now,
Man, what you got? Carpet burn?
man.
Lord
You
Jesus.
remember I have the matching one. I have the scar on this
Lord
side too. This is called center
Jesus.
field, baby. This is what it's like to play center field every day. You got to lay out sometimes. I had a game last night. It's probably why I got this sinus infection. I just ate a bunch of pollen when I hit the flow. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But man, talking about
Yeah,
Victor,
he having a bad game right now, but hopefully he get it together.
man, I got a parlay on KD right now. Don't even tell me. I don't want to hear it. But I don't want to hear it at all. But man, it's just one of those things, bro, where I think the league is coming into a place right now to where it's fun again. Remember when you used to hop on 2K and there would be, I would say, 6 or 7 teams you and your
With-
homies would choose
yeah,
from.
for sure,
Talking like OKC with KD,
for
Russ. You're looking
sure.
at Miami Bron or Cleveland
Yeah,
Bron,
San Antonio with they big three,
San
man. They had Parker,
Antonio. You
Ginobili,
have
Duncan.
Dirk. You have
They had
the
Kobe.
Lakers
You
with
had
Kobe,
yes,
D Rose
Lord.
and Booz and
And
Noah and
the big three in Boston. I know I used to kill people with Ray Allen. I used to go to
mhm.
work,
Oh man,
work time.
work. But man, like for the last few years, it was all right. I got Braun. All right, I got KD. All right, I got Curry. All right, I got him. All right, we're at a place right now, Rob. Now, I still don't think anybody's significantly saying I got San Antonio, but I think they're on their way of saying I got it. Because I mean, hey, let's be real. You put a team around that man, 7'4",
Oh,
and
you might be in trouble.
we might be in some trouble.
You
But I
might
want
be
to
in
ask you
trouble.
something. I want to ask you something because I heard Kenny Beecham, Chicago native. Shout out to my guy Kenny, King of the
Yeah.
Fourth Quarter. Does amazing work on his podcast and on YouTube. Definitely check that out. But he don't need no self promotions. He's got millions of followers. But I just want to give him some love. But in all seriousness, he called out Shaq in the most professional way possible because he's a big Shaq fan. He knows Shaq personally, but he said, I disagree. Shaq said, you're wrong. This is not somebody we've never seen before. We have seen a Victor Wembanyama before, and his name was Bol Bol. And
Oh man, he was out of pocket for that.
Rob, what do you, and outside of just that, what did you take from that and that meaning? Did you kind of hear what he was trying to say, or do you think it was just out of left field?
I think no, I think what Shaq was doing was just being given a simplistic answer. He was just saying that with the body build
Right.
and
We have seen it before.
yeah,
Taco Falls.
we've seen these long guys come in. I mean, hell, you can even compare him kind of to KD. We've
Right.
seen these tall guys come in that can
Porzingis.
move with the ball, that has a nice handle, that can stretch the floor with the three shooting and everything like that. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if we looking at the bigger picture, Bo, no, he hasn't had as nearly the impact that Wembanyama's had, and Wembanyama's only played in what 7 games.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's all about mentality. When you talk about being a basketball player, you talk about being an athlete, period. It's all about mentality. Everybody can have talent, but it's only what 60% talent, 40% mental.
Yeah.
You got to have the mental aspect of it. And to me, Wimby can be one of those mentally strong dudes. I like the way he can take a hit on the chin as much as he can give a hit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think Wimby's going to be a great player.
And here's my thing too. I want to throw that out there. Here's my thing for Shaq. Drafted in 2019 by Denver. Then he goes to Orlando. Now he's in Phoenix. Victor Wembanyama is not leaving San Antonio.
Not no time soon, at least.
Unless he wants to. Bobo didn't leave because he wanted to. Bobo left because they said, we don't want you. And any Orlando Magic fan will tell you, hey, man, listen, cool athlete, had his moments, great to see in person, but that man was inconsistent. I mean, that man was inconsistent as the chicken pad thai place down the corner at your local on your local South Side Street. But I mean, it's just hit or miss. It's hit or miss. It is
But the
what
good
it is.
thing is that I think the Magic are doing okay with the Wagner brothers.
They're doing very good. Yeah, I mean, listen, Paulo, the Wagner brothers. You look at the couple of guards they got in there that are way over exceeding expectations that I had for them. And then on top of that, Wendell Carter Jr. is actually doing pretty well, and
Yeah.
I will give him his flowers.
I can't even get mad at that because most players, when they leave the Chicago Bulls, go
Nah,
to
man.
other teams and start doing
I'm mad
well.
at us. I'm never mad at them. I'm never mad at them. Like Laurie almost won Most Improved Player of the
I
Year,
mean, Lori is a dog. I mentioned before. We
and
have
we
players like
will
Ron Artest, Jamal Curry. The list can go
uh,
on, dude.
we will
Tyson Chandler.
fast forward to maybe 6 months from now, Rob, 5 months from
Yeah,
now, when Zach LaVine is likely going to be on another team. We'll see if Zach LaVine takes
he's
it
the
to
only
another
person.
level.
He's the only person I don't see being able to take it to another level.
Well, I'll see. But if he does,
I don't know.
well,
I don't want to sound like I got something personal against Zach LaVine.
right,
I just my anger with him comes because I know he has the talent. I know you have the. It's up here and in here. That's what I don't see from Zach LaVine. You got to have it in here. You got to go on the court sometime in your mind, even if you're not the best person on this court. You got to have it in your mind. I'm coming out here to bust somebody's ass.
right,
Like somebody finna get this work. Who guard? He guarding me. Hey boy, I hope you got your sleep, man, because it's gonna be a long night. Like I want you to come out with that mentality because you have all the talent in the world. You athletic as hell. You can shoot the ball. You can dribble and get to where you want to on the court. It's like you got to get out of your own head. You got to stop looking at, oh well, Debo got this and this person got. Look at what you're doing. What can you do to better the game?
right.
Great players, when they don't got it scoring, they look for other aspects of the game to help out. Maybe I could rebound more. I can go stick defense a little harder. Do something to help impact the game. You don't have to have 30 a night to impact the game. Ask Draymond. Ask Draymond. You don't have to have 30 a night to
Triple
impact the
single,
game.
baby. It's a
That's,
hard triple single too.
that's all I'm saying, man. That, and that's what I need. And right now, it's his time to shine. Debo ain't the Debo that we know no more. He's lost his style. I've been saying this for like the last year and a half now. And now people are finally starting to see it. You can already tell he can't beat you to that spot as quick. He can give you 20 to 25 and every now and then break out with a 30, 40 point game. But he's not gonna do that every night. Zach, this is your time. You want the Bulls to be your team? This is your time to make the Bulls your team. That's all
100%.
I'm saying. Now come
100%.
on, but they need me to go talk to the locker room, Mike. Get me in the locker room, man, because I'm
Man,
going to talk to these boys.
you're gonna have a 5'8" Mike Hughes talking mad ish. It's gonna be, they're gonna be like, who is this kid? I'm gonna be like, I'm him. No, I'm playing. But Man, before we get out of here, man, you got to do one last Bulls topic. Our sponsor of every single show, Bench Mob Chicago. We appreciate Bench Mob Chicago for always representing. Welcome to Mars. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Make sure you follow them on Instagram at Bench Mob Chicago or go on their website at benchmob.com where you can get the latest gear and look super fresh like Rob Scott and myself to every single Bulls game that you go to. Or you can go on their Instagram to just check out what they're doing every single night. They're giving you the letdown of and the rundown of every single game, stats, injuries, box scores, shy slamma the best dunk of every single night. And of course, you have to do bench mobber of the night. The other night was Andre Drummond, absolutely phenomenal. Javon Carter also had one as well.
Yeah,
Very
he came
excited.
out. He been shooting well this year.
He's been
I'm
killing
actually
it.
shocked. Javon Carter's been doing this thing. I think this Bulls
Illinois
team.
native, Rob.
Yeah,
Illinois
yeah,
native.
yeah. They have enough to at least make some noise in the East. Are they gonna win a championship? No. I told people right now. I know we've all been raving on Denver, but don't let Boston slip up and get under your radar because Boston might be the scariest team in the NBA right now. I just think the Bulls have enough to make some noise in the like. We shouldn't be losing games that we've lost so far, man. And I gotta pose a question to you before you get up out of
Oh
before we
yeah.
get up out of here. How did you feel about LeBron passing on that last shot?
Listen, I know we were talking about it on the phone, and I was gonna save it for Saturday, but we can do it. We can do it. We can run it here.
We can
Um,
just talk about it. We can touch on it here and elaborate more because Saturday, I want us. We mentioned on our last show we were gonna go through our top 10
we're gonna go through our top 10.
of all time,
It's gonna be
and
great.
and situations like that, why I can't say LeBron is the GOAT.
Right.
But I want to hear what you got to say about it.
I
Just
think,
we
man,
can
that
just touch on it a little bit.
there is levels to it. I think you said something that kind of contradicted what we talked about last night.
Hmm.
You said when a scorer can't score and he's a great player, he finds other ways to be effective, grabbing
Hmm.
boards, making assists, making plays. I think that's what Bron did last night. Was try to make a play because either he didn't trust himself or he understood that everybody knew the ball was going in Bron's hands. The problem I had was who you passed it to, Cam Reddish. Basura. I mean,
Basura.
come on, come on. I mean, absolutely horrible. Um, just I like Cam too. That's the problem. Cam was a solid Duke basketball player alongside R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson, and obviously having Coach K, absolutely phenomenal. But it shows now who was carrying who. You know what I mean? It shows who was the number 3 on that team, and there was a reason for it. He was never going to be a number 1 or a number 2.
I
Uh,
mean, but he's shooting 15% this year from the 3 point line. That's my thing with Brian is, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I want to leave us something to talk about on Saturday. But I know I said what I said, and that's true. Stars are gonna find a way to affect the game in other way.
yeah,
But
yeah,
LeBron ain't just a star; he's a
superstar.
superstar, and there's a difference. That's what I'm. Zach LaVine ain't no superstar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron is a superstar, and he had a step on Jimmy. If LeBron added the dribble pull up to his game, that's my problem. It's my problem with Giannis. Like you have all this talent, but you don't do anything to continue to expand on your game. LeBron had Jimmy Butler beat. First step, he was gone. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, LeBron's strong enough where even though he did run into the hole, he ran into the double team. He's strong enough to still finish over Jimmy and Bam. I
Yep.
know he's 38, but it's still Bron. So my thing is he's made a career of doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he's never taken clutch shots, but what I'm saying is if you think about all the times LeBron has been in clutch mode, I bet you'll find more situations where he passed out instead of him taking a shot himself, and that's because he's afraid of that free throw line. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, yeah, and I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. But we're gonna save it all for Saturday. I feel like
Let's do
Saturday
it,
we're gonna have an amazing show. We're gonna be talking
and
top
you're gonna
10.
feel better.
Man, or I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. I'm gonna be dead or better. That's just the only. There's no in between. But no, in all seriousness, I believe I just have a sinus infection. For anybody wondering, it's just that we had a 70-degree day, then we had rain today. It's cold. It's gonna be 20 again tomorrow. Like listen, man, the fortunateness of being a white man is just
No,
hey.
this is unfortunate living in Chicago because you got to dress for every season. You got to have shorts on,
You
one
know what, Rob? I
one
can't hear that
Timberland
though.
boot, one hoodie in the car, winter coat in the car,
Yup.
a Jordan on the other foot. You don't know what you dressing for in
Nope.
Chicago.
Nope.
You know what I call Chicago weather? The next 15. If you don't like how this weather feeling, give it about 15 minutes.
Oh God, really. Chicago and Florida are 1-1 hand in hand, man. And it's just, it's one thing though. I have my guy James Morgan. That's my dog. He's on my football team. He was telling me. I told him, he was like, you coming to our football game tomorrow? I said, by the way, we 4-0. Prime time is 4-0, baby. 2 more weeks of the regular season. We're on a roll. Hey, I think I have my jersey on right underneath this too. I said,
Oh,
look,
okay. I
players.
thought you was about to do the Hulk
Chicago.
Hogan. Eh?
Nah, I'm playing. But I told him, I said, yeah, I got a sinus infection. He said, some white people shit. I said, oh man, leave me alone. Leave me alone, James. I don't deserve this. But with that being said, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you haven't hit that follow button on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube, you can find
Make
us
sure
at
you subscribe.
Welcome to Mars, baby. Welcome to Mars. Rob, any final thoughts?
Man, I just want you to get well soon, my brother.
Rob, I appreciate you, man. And our final thoughts. I hope Mrs. Scott gets better too for Rob's sake, because she's gonna start yelling at that man. I promise you. Just taking things out on Rob, all day. But nah, man. In all seriousness, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I truly do apologize for the shorter episode today. We have more things to talk about coming up this Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, we in here like swimwear every single Wednesday, every single Saturday. Check you guys out on the next one. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen,